Okay, so let's start modeling in Maya. So in this part, let us first prepare our reference. So for example, I have a reference that I have searched in the internet. So this is not mine, just found it on the internet. So what I'll do is I'll just right click and copy this image. And then I'll open up Photoshop. So let me go to Photoshop. So now that I'm in Photoshop, I'll go to File, I'll choose New, and then I will set my size to units first pixels. Then I'll set this to 1080 by 1080 with 72 dpi or resolution. I'll just click Create, and I have this square canvas here, and then I'll just press paste so that it will paste the image that I have copied. Next thing to do is I will press letter C for crop tool, and then I will just press enter, and once more press enter. So now I have cropped that portion of the image. I'll press letter V for the move tool, and then I will turn this on. This is the show transform controls. This will allow me to hold this corner, press Alt on the keyboard, and then drag. So I want to increase the size of the reference within the canvas. So there. After that, I'll press enter once more to execute that size change. I'll turn off the show transform controls, and then I'll press C for crop, press enter. C for crop, press enter, and there you go. You have that cropped again. Next, what I'll do next is I'll go to my Window Explorer, and then I'll create a new folder. So in this new folder, let's say I'll type in my project or subject. Let's say MA206, that's the subject code for 3D here. And then I'll just type in my last name and then my first name so that it will be easy to find. And then I'll just go inside this existing folder, and then I'll just copy the address here. Okay, so remember to do that. I'll just copy that address here. And then I'll go back to my Photoshop. So in my Photoshop, I'll go to File, and then I'll choose Save a Copy, and I'll choose My Computer. Next is I will go here in the file name, select all of it and paste the address of my folder. And once I do that, as you can see, I'm already inside my folder. Then from here, I'll set this to JPEG. The save type is going to be set to JPEG, and then I'll name this, let's say, ISO_reference. So this is going to be my isometric reference as a JPEG image, saving it. Okay. Then I'll close this. No, don't need to save that because I already have a JPEG version. Photoshop is closed, and then as you can see here, this is my folder and I have the reference saved here already. Next thing to do, I'll go to Maya. So I will run Maya now. So just in case, if you are not seeing the same UI or user interface that I am seeing right now, this is what you do. You go to your workspace, go to General, click here, down to your Reset Current Workspace, and we should be seeing the same layout now. Okay? Next, there are some things here that I do not need yet. That is really limiting or giving me a smaller view of my perspective or viewports. So what I'll do here is I'll go to my Windows, I'll choose UI Elements, And in my UI elements, I'll check or uncheck the following. I'll uncheck the time slider, and I will not be animating. So Windows, UI elements, and then I'll uncheck the range slider. So now I have a bigger view. And then I'll go to Windows, another UI elements, and then this time I will uncheck the command line. So there. So now I have a bigger viewport. Okay, so here to start, I can, in navigating views in Maya, you just tap the space bar, and then you have your 4 views. If you want to maximize one of the views, space bar, just hover over and space bar. Okay, so we don't need to see everything first. We don't need to see all of these viewports. So what I'll do is here in the perspective panel, or in the perspective view, I'll go to panels, I'll choose layouts, and then I'll choose 2 panes side by side. So in the 2 panes side by side, I have a perspective view and I have a top view. But I don't need the top view right now. So I'll go to panels, and then I'll go to orthographic, and then I'll choose front. There. So now this is a front view. It also says here this is a front view. Next thing, I'll go to my view, I'll go to image plane, and I'll choose import image. Again, I will paste my address, Control V, press enter. As you can see, I quickly go to my folder, or I have a quick access to my folder, and then I click this, the isometric reference that I've created, and I choose open. There. So now you have an image plane, and it is inside your 3D space, as you can see in your perspective view. So the next thing to do is rename this. So this is your outliner. This is where you see things inside, or this is the list of things that are inside your 3D space. So you just select this, double click, so you can rename it. So let's name this ISO_ref, or isometric reference. And then what I will do next is I will switch to the move tool, which is here, or the shortcut is W. And then I'll just click this and then drag. I'll just drag it outside, right? I'll just drag it outside of my viewport, sorry, of the grid. So because this is going to be the working area for my modeling, and then I don't want it near my model. Next, in the front view, we can see our object or our reference, sorry. So what I will do here is I will select it, and then I'll go to the attributes. So here's the attributes. And then after I go to the attributes, I'll go here in the display. I will choose looking through camera only. So that means I have created the ISO reference in the front view. That is why I only want it to be seen in the front view. So I set it looking through camera only, front. Next, what I'll do next is this. Here, in the outliner, I will select the outliner, sorry, I will select the isometric reference first. And then I will hold Control, and then I'll click the front camera. Okay, so let me just repeat. Select the isometric or isoref, hold Control, click the front camera, and then press Control P. If Control P is not working, let's select the isoref, right? Press the middle mouse and then drag it upwards onto your front camera. So this is going to parent it. Let me repeat. I'll just drag this down. So I'll select the isometric reference. I will press the middle mouse, scroll, and then I will drag it onto the camera, front camera, and now it is a child of the front camera. So what will happen here? I will select the front camera, I'll go to my view, and then I will go to my camera tools. I'll choose the tumble tool, but I will choose the settings of the tumble tool. And then from here, in the settings of the tumble tool, I will unlock it by unchecking that. And if this is checked, please uncheck the step also, so that it will not snap onto angles. Okay, so with that done, I'll close. Next thing, I will now go to my create. Let's go here. Let's go to polygon primitives, and please make sure in the polygon primitives list at the bottom, please make sure that your interactive creation is unchecked. Okay, we need that unchecked. If it is unchecked, that's very good. Let's go to cube now. So now you have instantly created a cube. The next thing to do is this. You go to your scale tool. So this is scale tool, or you can press R for the shortcut, and then you will just go here at the center and scale it up. We scale it up a little bit so that at least it covers the reference. And then let me just press here in the perspective tool, let me just press F. That means focus on selected object. And then I'm pressing Alt, left click drag. So this means rotate the view. Okay, Alt and left click drag. That means rotate the view. But please do it first here in the perspective. Okay, next, let us enlarge our view. Let's press Control Space Bar. Control Space Bar allows you to have a bigger view. Now, while we are in this view, I will go here to my see-through mode in the front view. So in the front view, I will set the see-through mode so that I can see through my object. I'll press Q so that I will be in selection mode. So this means I will just select the object. There will be no gizmo appearing at the center. After that, let me just scroll to zoom in. So now I am zooming in both at the reference and at the object. Next, I will press here in the front view. I will now press Alt, and then I will do a left click drag. And as I do that, now I am being allowed to rotate the scene and align my reference onto my, align my object onto my reference. So there, object is now starting to align with my reference. So I am pressing the Alt middle mouse. Oops, let me keep that selected. Alt middle mouse and here. So here, how do you align? As much as possible, make sure that at least 3 lines, such as the vertical line here, and then the 2 angled lines are lining up with your reference. Okay, of course, it will not be perfectly lined up. Expect that, because this is, for example, a hand-drawn reference. So it is not that precise. Okay, so it is a hand-drawn reference, so it will require some, let's say, tolerance. So in this case, let me just make sure that the 3 lines are aligned. So 1, there's a vertical alignment there, and then there's 2 angle alignments here. The next thing that I will do is I'll zoom out a little bit, and then here, just making sure that my object is aligned. So now I will do this. I will switch to the front view. So I can go to the panels, I can choose orthographic and then front. Oops, sorry. Panels, orthographic and then side. I forgot, this is already the front view. Okay, so on the side view, I will select my object. I will make sure I am also in the see-through mode here on the side view or in the wireframe mode here. Okay, next thing is I'll select this, I'll press W. W is for the move tool. And then I will start to drag this going up. Not really going up, but avoiding it resting below this ground line. So objects should be above that ground line or on top of it. So as if they are standing on the ground in real life. There. So that's the important thing there. My object is on the ground. But as you can see here, as per the reference, it got misaligned. So it's easy to adjust. You just press here in the front view, press Alt, and then you press the middle mouse. And then you drag down. So this is your view pan shortcut. Alt, middle mouse, and then just drag it down. Now, as I can see, this line is not lining up. I can press Alt and then left click drag to carefully align it. There. And then Alt, drag down here a little bit. Now I have my object aligned. And then also now I have my object on ground. So that is how you set up your project. That is how you set up your reference. And this is how you align your object to your reference in Maya. I'll see you in the next video.